can and try to keep winning 1v1s, whether it's a clan war, trash talker online. Like, be that great player that a lieutenant is supposed to represent. And for future to come, you know what I mean? Captains will always agree with your opinions and accept your opinions on whether it's an idea to make the fam greater. Because I'll tell you, there was this kid, I trained him myself, but this is when I was cap, and he went from being the worst player at the time that I ever saw. Like, he lacked motivation to play COD. He gave up with the game. He was doing bad. He couldn't even drop a goddamn UAV. He couldn't win a simple 1v1 any gun. He couldn't win a sniping match. I trained him 3 months. This guy was great at sniping. This guy was good at any guns. This guy could beat anybody. This guy could beat anybody, and he was a kid. A snotty-nosed kid. His name was Trevor Smith. Now he's a lieutenant. I think he was a lieutenant how long? Okay, promoted him 2015, 2016, his second year as a lieutenant. And he comes up with this idea that I can't even understand it right now. But he came up with this idea of a sniping division in MVP called MVS. He came up with this idea. He's telling me that he wanted the future of MVP to be not only good in sniping, but any gun. Not good in any gun, but sniping as well. So that if we get like a clan war, just sniper will win. If we get a trash talker 1-on-1v1 and sniper will win. And he's telling this to a person that hated sniping at the time, despised it, didn't see it as a true 1v1, didn't see it as a 1v1 at all, you know. And then with radar on, it's just a 50-50 match. Anybody can win. It's not like, oh, you're better than me because you beat me. You know, anybody could have won because radar was on. You saw me. You were ahead of your game. So I told him, if we're going to have a leader of that division, it's got to be you. Because at the time in sniping, you know, when I was training him, you know, he surpassed me. I told him he was on his way. It took him 3 months to beat me in sniping. And then he just became a great rival for me. And I'm going to get to that in a second. And, yeah, I named him the founder of MVS, and he became the first captain of MVS. Right now, we got a second captain of MVS and a second generation. It's been going on 2 years now. Started in 2016, January 30th. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. When you're a lieutenant, you come up with an idea to make the fam greater or stronger, a captain will understand. And if all the criteria is there, and you talk it out with your captain what every rank should be like and how to become every rank and thing, you're showing leadership qualities. You're making a resume for yourself as a lieutenant to make you become that great future leader one day, that great captain one day. And he was inspired by both me and the first captain. And I always thought he played like both of us. So I'm the founder of MVP, he's the founder of MVS. The first captain is Edward. And now he's the first captain of MVS. So he's really become the fusion of us, in a sense. And he's created another atmosphere of a way that other people can get promoted beyond MVP. There's member in MVS, there's elite, which is co-leader, and then there's captain. But to become captain, it's every year there's a tournament. It's not like it's every 2 years like MVP. So that's what I'm trying to say. Come up with ideas. There's certain lieutenants that, as captain, okay, when you're a lieutenant, captains are going to talk to you. It's like a job, you know. Your supervisor's talking to you because you're doing really good. Wow, I could talk about this all day. Your captain's going to talk to you about ideas he has, and he's going to hear your perspective and your thoughts on your opinion on what it's going to be. It doesn't matter if you're a lieutenant or a member, he's going to ask you. If he trusts you, if he thinks that, you know, you don't have to be good for him to ask you. You could be, you know, trying to be good or eventually graduating to be good, but he's still going to ask you anyway. So always prepare for that when you're a lieutenant. You're always going to be asked for advice. And if you give good advice and you have good opinions, that means that you have a good mindset on how to make MVP stronger and better. Always remember that. Woo! Another thing. When you're a lieutenant, like it's not like, oh, like you hit the glass ceiling, like Trevor Smith and even guys like Breezy, you know, like they broke through that ceiling. They showed that you can do so much things as a lieutenant that's sick, and and stuff like that. That's amazingly good. And not get bored, you know. There was another thing I was supposed to get back at and how I forgot it. Like there's WWFS, the original lieutenant of MVP. He's getting promoted to the original sergeant of MVP next year in the fourth captain tournament. Sergeant's a big deal, but I'll get to that in another clip. But when you become an MVP, when you become an MVP captain, you're the strongest player of our fam, like of that time or whatever. You're the strongest. You're the greatest. When you become a sergeant, you are the greatest lieutenant of all time, but it takes 8 years to make sergeant. So that takes like a long road. But there's so much things to do as a lieutenant that you guys don't get and you guys don't do. And when you don't do these things, you'll make a shitty captain. Trust me. So don't be the fucking lieutenant that is being a crybaby and saying, you know, I'm not getting what I think I deserve. And that's why I made the perspective of becoming captain a tournament instead of just picking someone. Because if you pick someone, that creates tension, creates stress, and it creates a lot of people kissing your ass. And you don't want that. Trust me when I say you don't want that. This isn't a clan, this is a family. If you're going to become captain, earn it your own way, your own path, your own playing style. Win that shit yourself. And then we'll see the Wagwan afterwards. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of people I've met, a lot of great lieutenant. Honestly, every lieutenant in MVP I find is great. Just the fact that they just made lieutenant. But you guys still don't get what makes a good lieutenant. That's why I had to make this video today, this clip today, to make you guys understand that being a lieutenant is sick. In my opinion, lieutenant was the greatest rank. It was the greatest rank for me. I still see that today as one of the greatest ranks in MVP. Because it's, you know, you don't have all the stress and responsibility of making sure people are playing, keeping up with their training online, taking them online. Like, it's not all that big. You're a lieutenant. You know, you do that, but at your own pace. And I just wanted to say, you know, God bless WWE for making that rank. Because if not, I would have just been member and captain. I don't even know how that shit would have worked. But basically, if you guys really want to know how the whole lieutenant started, I'll explain it right now. So, when I was, maybe I can say that for another video, but I'll explain a little bit now. When I was a member, I was an asshole. You know, if I'm playing with you, I'm not gonna diss you because, like, I'm a team player kind of person. But I was an asshole. If you 1v1 me, you weren't my friend anymore. You were an enemy. You were a guy in my way. I had to knock you down or spit on you and stomp in your face. You were going to lose, and I was going to make you go negative. I was that kind of person. I was 14, 15. I was 14, yeah. 14, 15, around there. Remember. And, you know, I didn't care who you are. You were going to get destroyed. I didn't even care if you were the captain. If you were facing me, something bad was going to happen to you, not me. Trust me, I was going to win. I was going to laugh in your face. So as you can see, those traits does not show leadership qualities or teamwork capabilities at all. When I played well as a team, it was because I was getting my streaks. I was on top. You know, my career wasn't based off of like I was bad and I got good. I was already good because I was trained by the first. You see what I'm saying? But when WWE challenged me, you know, my whole perspective of what a good leader is, and a good person that works as a team just changed. And I'll save that for the next clip. But overall, you guys get it. When you're a lieutenant, you can come up with ideas to expand the fam. You can train anybody you want. You give anybody advice. Shit, I've even gotten training from a lieutenant, from a couple lieutenants on how to improve. Trevor Smith, you know, it went from teacher-student to him being a teacher and me being a student because I became a co-leader of the first and last year in sniping. So, you know, I had to learn from his perspective on how to snipe in a different way. So don't think that, oh, I'm a lieutenant and I can't really do anything, but I'm a co-leader. You're a co-leader, act like a fucking co-leader. And the more you act like a goddamn co-leader, the more you would understand what it means to be a true captain. I'll tell you that right there. I wanted to say I love you all. Keep busting your ass, keep working hard. And when you become a lieutenant, your chapter, your whole history and MVP will be written in that book, detail for motherfucking detail. From the time you did your debut, from all your match records, from all your clan ward records, will be all listed in the book. Like, I don't know, Wednesday, fucking February 2017, like, Goonie Gugu joined MVP, and he was struggling to be the best. He busted his ass. He worked hard. He got beat a lot of times and he learned from his mistakes. And then eventually he showed all the criteria to make a lieutenant and he became a lieutenant. Like, I'm telling you, MVP's going places, but I had to make this video. I had to ensure that you guys understand how to be a fucking lieutenant. It's not like I'm a lieutenant and that's it. There's so much things you can do as a lieutenant. I loved being a lieutenant so much. I turned down being capped my first year as a lieutenant, and I was a lieutenant for 2 years. But when you get to that second year, you get bored being a lieutenant. Because it's like, am I always going to be a lieutenant? Like, isn't there any other thing I can do? Like, can I beat the previous captain? Can I become the next captain? Like, all these things are going to jump in your head your second year as lieutenant. Trust me. Your first year, it's fun. Second year, it's still fun, but it's like, what more can I do? That's why these new 2 ranks were invented, like the MVP Special Task Force, and I'm going to get to that in another video, and MVP Sergeant, and stuff like that. If you want to become the greatest lieutenant of all time and take the path of WWFS, go ahead and do it, because if not, which I'm going to explain in the other video, about what makes be a good member, our paths could have been intertwined, it could have been changed. I would have been like WWE, the greatest lieutenant of all time. And he probably would have been the greatest cap of all time. Who knows? I don't see myself as the greatest cap because I've made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. The only thing is I learned from them, but I wouldn't consider me the greatest cap. I think the 4th is going to be the greatest cap of all time. That's a guarantee. And all the caps to come afterwards will be the greatest cap of all time. And that's because of these videos right here. When they look back at them and they watch them and they say, oh, okay, I get it. So, you know, have a good day. Keep challenging yourselves. Keep busting your ass. Keep working hard. And when you're as good as a lieutenant that I was, when I was a lieutenant, I was dropping maybe like 30, 35 plus kills every game. Didn't matter if I was up against the biggest tryhards on the planet. It didn't matter if I had the worst team on the planet. The all-time goal as a lieutenant is to be number 1. Even if I lose this match, like I'm speaking lieutenant right now, even if I lose this blood clot match, I am going to have the most kills in this whole freaking game. And these people will remember my freaking name. Because lieutenants are a little cocky, trust me, but you got to be a little cocky sometimes. Especially when it comes to fucking Call of Duty. But look, I could sit down all day and talk about what it means to be a lieutenant, but I think I knocked down all the points. You're going to hit a glass ceiling, and you're going to want to become captain. The only reason you made lieutenant was because your captain sees that you can one day succeed him and be his successor and lead this fam to heights unimaginable. So always remember that. I love you all. Have a good day. And peace. Cheesemo out. At G99, 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 G. Okay, I gotta go.